fragile, extended ceasefire and high-stakes diplomatic maneuvering in Pakistan. Following weeks of active kinetic conflict that began in late February, the current period is characterized by a wait-and-see military posture paired with intense economic pressure. Diplomatic developments. On Tuesday, April 21st, the United States presidency announced an extension of the conditional ceasefire originally brokered on April 8. This extension is intended to remain in effect while negotiations continue in Islamabad, mediated by the Pakistani government. By Friday, April 24, diplomatic activity intensified as Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi arrived in Islamabad. The White House confirmed that U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were scheduled to arrive on Saturday, April 25, to engage in these mediated discussions. The primary points of negotiation include the permanent reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, the status of Iran's nuclear enrichment and ballistic missile programs, the potential for a long-term peace agreement and the lifting of sanctions. Military and naval status. Despite the ceasefire on strikes, the military environment remains high tension. On April 24, the USS George H.W. Bush arrived in the Middle East, joining the USS Gerald R. Ford and the USS Abraham Lincoln. This brings the total number of U.S. aircraft carriers in the region to 3. Simultaneously, the U.S. naval blockade of Iran, which was initiated on April 13, remains active. U.S. Central Command reports that this counter-blockade targets vessels entering or departing Iranian ports. Since its inception, the blockade has resulted in the interception of over 30 vessels, while Iran has retaliated by seizing at least 2 cargo ships during the same period. Economic and energy impact. The economic conflict has centered on Iranian oil exports. On Friday, the United States announced new sanctions targeting a major China-based oil refinery and approximately 40 shipping companies and tankers linked to the transportation of Iranian crude. While global oil prices saw a significant drop following the initial ceasefire announcement earlier this month, the market remains volatile as the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, through which roughly 20% of the world's oil passes, remains a central, unresolved condition of the current talks. Official stances. The U.S. administration has stated that military strikes will remain paused as long as meaningful and verifiable progress is made toward abandoning nuclear weapons capabilities. Conversely, the head of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization stated this week that Iran will not accept permanent limits on its nuclear enrichment. As of today, April 26, the ceasefire holds, and all parties are focused on the diplomatic proceedings in Islamabad to determine if a lasting resolution can be reached.